So this is our homepage. Here have a name FURRYCAT, which is name our clinic, and the details about our clinic too. So here are the navigation, which is home, about, services, booking, login, have an admin and customer. Lastly is the team members. So in homepage, we have the details about our clinic. So let's say that the customer wants to know more about our clinic. So the customer can click about menu. This will bring you to the section about us. So here are the details and have a testimonial, which is the feedback from customer. And lastly, have a footer. In this footer, have a side link to the other page too. So if the customer wants to know the list of services that has been provided from our clinic, customer can click this service. It will bring you to the service page. So here are the list of services that has been provided from our clinic. If the customer wants to booking, so the customer can click booking, but the customer need to log in first. When user is admin and he wants to log in, so admin can just go to the menu login, click the admin here, and it will bring you to the login admin. And lastly, we have a team members. Inside the team members page, we have a developer information that display using table. So the details information of developer consists of name, pictures, student number, program code, and name, class, and also the email. So here are the developer information. So this is our homepage file, namely index.php. And here are the codes for the top bar. And then the navigation lines of codes for the cursor. And here are the section about. For this section about is telling the information about our clinic. And for the futures, testimonial, feedback from our customer. And lastly, on this file, have a footer. So here are the codes for the footer. Moving on to the service page. For the service page, we actually display the data from database. So here are the codes that want to display data from database. First, need to include dbcon.php and then define the select from services, initialize to the query variable, and then if the data inside the table service, if have data inside the table service, so the browser will be execute of this line of codes. Moving on to the teams members page, so we display all the data in terms of table. So here are the codes.
Next, for the login customer, our system provides two text box where customer can insert their username and password. So next we have a button login. So if the customer click the button login without entering anything, the alert message will be appeared that say input username. So if you put username, and if we click the button login again, it will say input password. So one of the function of button login is to know whether the username and the password that customer entered is matched in the database. So, if the customer insert their username and password is matched in the database, the customer click the button login, alert message will appear that said welcome to FURRYCAT system. And if the customer click button OK, it will go redirect to the customer home page. But if the customer insert wrong password or username, if the customer click the button login, the alert message will appear and say invalid username and password. And if the customer click the button OK, it will redirect to the login customer again. Next, for the new customer, if they doesn't have any account, they can click this link to register. So it will go redirect to the register page. Register page, they can insert their customer ID, username, password, name, email, and phone number. So if the customer click the button submit, the message will be appeared that says successfully registered. So if the customer click the button OK, it will go redirect to the login customer, and the customer can insert their username and password that they have been registered. So you say welcome to FURRYCAT, and you go to the customer home. So this is our FURRYCAT database. In the customer table, we can see that the customer ID and username that's customer entered have been inserted in our customer database. But if the customer ID that customer entered exists, if the customer click the button submit, a alert message will be appear and set that record ID existed. So the customer need to insert new customer ID. So this is our coding for login customer, where we include the DB connection, and we have a post method in the submit button, and we assign the customer username into the username and customer password into the password. And then we have a SQL command that select from customer table, where customer username and is equal to username and the customer password is equal to password. So we connect the row into the query and say if a row is equal to 0, which means that the username and the password that staff entered doesn't have in our database, it will say invalid username and password. Yeah. But if it has, it will alert the welcome to FURRYCAT and go redirect to the customer home. That's for coding register. It's the same as a login, where we use a post method in the submit button. Next, we use SQL command to avoid redundant ID. We use a select customer ID from customer, where customer ID equal to ID. So if the row if a row is not equal to 0, which means that the customer ID have in the database, it will say that alert record ID existed. But if not, it will insert into the customer, where insert UID, username, password, name, email, and phone number. In customer home, we have a home about services. The customer can know what service that have been provided in our system. And then we have a booking page. In this booking page, customer can insert their ID and choose their service name, date, time, and number of cat. So if the customer click the button now, it will alert message will be appeared that said booking successfully, and it will appear a receipt, and we have a button print that customer can print the receipt. So this is our booking database. So in this we can see that the customer booking details have been inserted into our booking table. But if customer need to make another booking, and if they insert redundant date or time, if the customer click the button book now, the alert message will appear that says choose another date and time, and will click OK. It will go redirect to the booking page, which means that the booking is unsuccessfully, because in our system, to avoid clashing, we doesn't allow a customer to make booking with the same date and the same time. So this is our coding for booking page. So in booking page, we use include dbcon, and then to avoid clashing, we use a SQL that select from booking, where book date is equal to date and book time is equal to time. So if the customer insert unique date and time, the data that the customer have filled will be inserted to our database, and it will go redirect to the alert that say booking successfully, and our system will calculate the receipt, and the total price will be calculated as we get the result from our service cost table, and the total price will be calculated as number of cat will be multiplied by the result of service cost. But if the customer enter redundant date or time, a alert message will be appeared that says choose another date and time, and it will go redirect to the booking page again, which means that the booking is unsuccessful. Next, customer also can see their booking details by click this account and go to the My Booking, and it will go redirect to the search booking, And customer need to insert their customer ID and click the button search. It go redirect to the booking details. So this we have all the booking details for customer ID 111. So customer can cancel their booking by click this link. So if the customer click this, alert message will appear. Let's say your booking has been cancelled, and you click OK. So the booking is gone. So if you go to this database, so we will delete from our database. So for the booking detail page, we use include dbcon, and we select from table booking where customer IDs is equal to search. This search method we use from the search page that we get from input customer ID. So we have a result query that from SQL, and will display booking ID, customer ID, service ID, book date, book time, and number of cat. So it will be displayed like this. We use a PHP echo row. And next we have a choice for customer to cancel their booking and go redirect to the delete booking.php. In delete booking.php, we use a query delete from booking where booking ID is equal to ID.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Zahidi bin Azmi. I will explain about the admin login session. When the user, whenever customer or admin go into the page, they will be directed to the index page, or we call it home page. When the user goes into the login admin page, the user will enter the username and the password. After the user managed to log in, the admin will be brought to the admin page where the admin can delete or update the employee and service. As for the coding, this is the coding for the login admin. For the text box for username and the password just now, the username we use the text box for the input. As for the password, we use as the password. After the user key in the data, these two line codes will take the data from the web page, and it will compare the password whenever it is true or not. If it is true, it will go to the employee page. If it's not, it will alert the user that username and password is invalid. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Athira Binti Zulkipli. My matric ID is 20204968808, and I will present to you about the admin page for the employee. After the admin login, they will go to the employee page that will display all employee information like employee ID, employee name, and employee phone number. At the same page, you also have the add new button, delete button, and update button. Here is the navigation bar that we can click one of these buttons if we want to go to the employee page, service page, or log out from the admin page. Okay, now let's go to the add new button to add new employee to the system. click save, and the comment prompt message will be displayed here. As you can see here, Nazira employee has been added to the system, same as the database. When we refresh, and Nazira employee has been added to the database. And now let's go to the delete button. We will delete the Izzah employee. Click delete, and Izzah has been deleted from the system, same as the database. Here is Izzah, and we can click refresh, and it has been deleted from the database. For the update button, we only can update the employee name and employee phone number. For example, I will edit the Athira phone number. Update, and phone number has changed to the new one, and same as the database. This is the old one, so we can click refresh, and the new one has been changed. And now let's look at to the employee page source code. We will use the include dbeacon.php to link with the database. This is the query variable that will select all information from the employee table, and we use the MySQL query to perform the query variable in the database. This is the CSS for the employee page. This is the HTML for the sidebar, and this is the HTML to read the employee details. As you can see here, this is the PHP tag. We use the if and while command to perform where if the row in database is more than 0, it will read all information of the employee like employee ID, employee name, and the employee phone number. And now let's look at the create employee source code. This is the CSS for create employee, and this is the HTML for create employee. Same as previous, I will use include dbeacon.php to link with the database. If is set, which is if the data is not null, it will perform the submit button. To create new employee, I will declare new variable here, name employee ID, name, and HP. I also will declare new variable named SQL0 to select employee ID from employee table where employee ID is equal to employee ID variable. This is my SQL query where it will perform the SQL0 variable in the database. The row0 variable will determine whether the record is exists or not. If the record is exists, it will display message record is exists. Otherwise, it will insert into employee table, which is new employee ID, new employee name, and new employee number phone. Then it will perform the alert message, employee has been added, and you can see the new employee in the employee.php. For the update employee source code, this is the CSS, and this is the HTML. As you can see here, we have PHP tag that will pass employee variable from the employee page to the update employee page using the get method, and it will use the type hidden. This is the include dbeacon.php that will link with the database. If the data is set, which is not null, it will perform the update button. I had declared the employee ID variable here to pass the variable from employee page. And this is the query variable that will update employee table, which is employee name, and the employee phone number, where employee ID is equal to employee ID variable. That means the employee ID cannot be updated in the system. And same as previous, I will use the MySQL query to perform the query variable. If the update is success, it will perform the alert message, which is employee has been updated. And now let's look at to the delete employee source code. This is the include_dbcon.php. If the data is set, which is not null, it will get the v from the employee page. This is the ID variable, and this is the query variable that it will delete from employee, where employee ID is equal to ID variable. I also used the MySQL query to perform the query variable. So if the delete is success, it will display an alert message, which is employee has been deleted, and it will go to the employee.php page.
So this is the service detail at admin page. So all the data inside this table is actually service that has been retrieved from table service in database. So each row consists of delete and update button, and then on the top here have a add new service. So this is the table service at database. Let's say that admin want to add new service, so admin can click add new button. It will be moved to the add service.php. After done fill all this form, admin need to click save, and then the alert message will be pop up, which is service has been added. Just press OK, and here the new service has been added inside this table. So let's see at the service page, which is service at customer page. Before this, we just only have 6 service, but now we become 7. Here, the new service has been added inside the customer service. Move on to the database. We need to refresh, and the new service that we added before has been displayed inside this table. What if admin wants to update a new price instead of 40 to become a 50 ringgit? So admin can click update, will be moved to the update service.php page, and then needs to fill all this detail. After done fill all this, admin need to click update. The alert message will be pop up. Press OK, and here, before this, the price will be 40 ringgit, but now it's become 50 ringgit. Let's see at the service customer page. Refresh. It will be changed. Now let's see at database too. Refresh. Before this is become 40, and now it's become 50 ringgit. What if admin wants to delete this service ID, which is service ID at 7? Just admin can go here and click delete button. The alert message will be pop up. Just press OK. And then let's go to the customer service, refresh, and now all the service has become 6. Let's go to the database, refresh, and the service ID 7 has been deleted. Here are the service.php file. First, when we want to create a database connection, we need to include the dbcon.php. Here are the SQL command that has been initialized to the query variable, and this is the function also has been initialized into the variable run. This is the CSS code to style the service.php. For this service, actually all the data is retrieved from database using table. So this is the tag, this is the HTML tag to display data inside the table, and this is the PHP code actually retrieve data from database. When the number of rows is greater than 0, So if these conditions are true, so the data will be executed and displayed inside the table. Here have a delete button and update button. When admin click delete button, so it will be linked to the delete service.php and bring service ID inside this variable v. Same goes to the update. When admin click update button, so it will be linked to update service.php and then bring service ID inside the variable s. This is update service.php file. Inside this file, we have CSS code to style this update service. We need to include dbcon.php when this condition is true. So the variable get x will be initialized to the variable sid. Here are the form tag inside this file. We have open and close form. For this name form is actually form, and the method used for this form is post. Inside this form, have a class, label, and input. For the input inside this form, have three types, which is first type is text, file, and lastly is submit. Here are the code for PHP. When update happen or when this condition is true, so all the variable here will be initialized to this variable. This is SQL command in order to update data into the database. We are initialize this function into this variable, and when this condition is true, update will be happen inside the database, and the alert message will be pop up, which is service has been updated. Moving on to the delete service.php, first we need to include dbcon.php. When this condition is true, so the get b will be initialized to the variable id. And here are the SQL command to delete service inside the database. We initialize this function into this variable. When this condition is true, delete will be happen, and then alert message will be pop up into the script that tells service has been deleted. This is the add service.php file. Inside this file, we have a CSS code to style this add service. We have form tag here. We have for the form name, we have form, and the method for the form is post. Inside this form, we have class, and inside the class, we have label, input, and also the text area. Because this is the add service, we need to save the data. So we have an input type submit to save all the data that has been typed inside the form. Here are the PHP code. First, we need to include dbcon.php. When the admin is click the save button, so this condition will be true, and then all the variable here will be initialized into this variable. And here are the SQL command to insert all the service detail into the database. The service is happen, so alert message will be pop up, which is tell that service has been added.
To log out from the admin page, we can just click the logout button and we will go to the login admin page. Last but not least, this is the logout for the admin page. If the season is destroyed, which is when the admin click the logout button, it will go to the index.php.
Hi, my name is Ahmad bin Azmi, and today I will explain about our mobile application on Midnight Inventor. So as you can see, on the login screen, we use an image for our logo. We use a label to tell the user to input the username and password, to take the input from the user, we use a text box for the username. As for the password, we use the password text box. We also use the horizontal arrangement as to give a margin between the object. Also, there's a two button, enter and register. As on the block coding, when the user click the button enter, it will set the URL to our database and login file PHP. After that, it will send the data that the user has input into the text box and password text box. It will send into the login.php file. At the line 3 and 4, it will take the user data and it will query the database to check whether there is a duplicate data or not. If there is non-duplicate data, it will say successfully login. If there is a duplicate data, it will tell the username and password are incorrect. If the user decided to click on register, it will bring the user to the register page. At the register page, we use the label and the text box. When the user click the register button, it will set the web URL to our server and to the coding file daftar.php. It also take the data from the text box and send it to the daftar.php. After it have take the data, it will check the database to check the customer ID. If there is a duplicate customer ID, it will say the account have already existed. If not, it will just create a new user and also say the input has successfully registered. Next, when the button back is clicked, it will bring the user to the login page.
This is our home page, we name it index. In our home page, we have our company name, FURRYCAT PETCARE. This is our logo. This is our tagline. We're handling their paws with care, healthy care, happy owner. In this page, we have two buttons. First button, we have book now button. Second button, we have learn more button. Learn more button is for about button. In this page, we also added sidebar, so user can press any of the button which is home, about, service, booking, account to go to another page. For example, here we have initialized the index in which it will call the sidebar, and here it will make a list item which is home, about, service, booking, account. For example, if item 1 is selected, it will then open another screen name called index. Item 1 is the home one. Same goes to the second one. If item 2 is selected, it will then open another screen name called about page. It will go to about page. Same goes to the rest of it. Item 3 is selected, it will then open another screen name service. Item 4 is selected, it will then open another screen name called booking. Lastly, it will then item 5 is when item 5 is selected, it will then open another screen name called screen 1, which is the account page. Earlier I have said that we have two buttons. First button is the book button, in which if we press the button book, it will then open another screen name called booking. For the Learn More button, it will then open another screen name called About button. Next, I will explain about the About page. For About page, this is about us page, in which this is the description for our website. FURRYCAT is veterinary clinic that provides services for your beloved pets. Only cats are served by our clinic. We have employees who are professionals at helping customers get services for their pets. We promise to treat your pets with kindness and patience. We will also ensure that every service provided to customer is satisfying and worthwhile. In this page, we also have added sidebar. Here we have back button. For about page, it is just the same as home screen page, which is we initialize the about page, like for the sidebar, like the home page. So for the one button here back, when we press the button, it will then open another screen name called index. So yeah, I think that's all. So for the service page, this is our service page. In our service page, we have the list of our services, the services that we provided. The total of the services are 7. In this page, we have shown that the name of the service, and here is the description, and also the price for each service. Yep, this is it. And at the bottom, we have the Book Now button. In this page also, we also added sidebar. So for the Book Now button, like I've said earlier, it is when we click the button, it will then open another screen name called Booking. So I mentioned earlier that there is sidebar, in which here we have initialize the service, which is we call the sidebar to make a list, which is home, about, service, booking, account. Same goes to the home page and also about page, which is when item 1 is selected, it will then open index page. If item 3 is selected, it will then open service page, and yep, it's just the same as before. This is our booking page. In this booking page, user has to enter their customer ID, service name, book date, book time, and number of cat. For customer ID and number of cat, we use text box. Service name, we use the list picker, in which the user can in which it will list down the services that provided in our company. So next, we for the book date, we use date picker, and for the book time, we use the time picker. And here is the button book now, button book. So here we have initialized booking, in which it will then set the web 1 URL to our provided link, in which this is my IP address, and this is the booking.php file. I will show you the booking.php file. So here is the booking.php file. In this booking.php, we have included the collection.php. The collection.php is where we connect the database. For our database, we name it FURRYCAT. So here is where it connected, and here we select from booking, which is from the FURRYCAT, where book date and also book time. So yeah, when we insert the data, it will then echo successfully booking. If the data is has the same as other people, it will then echo choose another date. So user are not allowed to choose book date and the same book date and the book time. So yeah, so this is it. So here is when the button book is clicked, it will then call the web 1. You'll then join this thing. So here, when web 1 get tags, it will then get response code equals to 200. This means that standard response for successfully HTTP. So it will then call the get response content. If it succeeded, it will then show successfully booking. then it will open to another screen called read. If not succeeded, it will then notice the user to choose another date. Here we have initialized global name. This is for the list picker, in which we have make a list of tissues, pet consultation, pet grooming, pet treatment, and pet dentistry, and pet surgery. We initialize global number list to 0. So when list picker when before picking, list picker will set elements to get global name. So after picking, it will then set the text to it will set the global name to global number list, in which it will then convert to number in the database. So here, when date picker is after data set, you will then set the data picker to join the day, month, and year. So here we have the after time for time picker. It will also join the time picker for hour and minute. Here is for the sidebar, in which I've explained earlier. Item 1 is selected. It will then open another screen name called index. Same goes to the rest of the item. So yeah, that's it for the booking page. After we press the book button, it will open to the read page. This is the read page, in which it will display the booking details that we have written on the booking form. So in this form, we have notifier and web 1, and also list view. So here, when read initialized, it will call notifier message please read, and yeah, it will set the URL to our link, in which we have different file, which is read.php. It will then call the web 1. Okay, this is the read.php. So we also include the collection.php, in which it will connect to the database. So here we select from booking page, booking database. So here we call the customer ID, service ID, book date, number of time, and book time, and number of cats that we have written. Yeah, I guess that's all. This is the read.php. Yeah, so when read back press, it will then open another screen name called booking. So here is where it initializes the name to get response content, and if not, you will then ask for the customer to check your connection. So here we have back to home, in which it will open to a home page. This is the page for my account. In my account, we have update account button, delete account button, logout button. For update account, we name it button 1, and delete account button 2. Logout button, we name it button logout. In this page, there is also sidebar. So in this page, if you click the button 1, it will open another screen name called update. If we click button 2, it will open another screen name delete. And lastly, if we press the button logout, it will open another screen name login. So this is for the sidebar. I've explained it earlier. So if you press the button update account, it will bring us to the update page, in which this is the update page. In this update page, the customer can update their username, password, name, email, and phone number. So in this page, we have update button and back button, in which it will when it will go to my account page. In this page also have we added notifier and web 1. So when we click button update, it will set web 1 to this link, which is we connected to database. Connected to the file PHP. So yeah, the file name is update.php. So this is the file for update.php. In this PHP, we included the collection.php, which I have said earlier, to connect with database. So yeah, here we check the data, in which we select from customer, where customer ID equals to customer ID. So if if it's updated, then it will echo data has been updated. If not, then it will echo data has not existed. Okay, so yeah, so when web 1 got tags, it will call notifier, get response code equals to 200, and yeah, if it's not working, it will show this message, check network connection. So yeah, this is it. Next, I will explain about delete page, in which if we press the delete button in account page, will bring us to this page. In this page, we jot down that delete your account will remove all your information from our database. To confirm this, you have to type your ID, in which we have to type our ID in this thing. And then we press delete account and it will automatically delete. Oh, also in this page, we have web 1 and notifier. So here, when button delete is clicked, it will set web 1 to this link, which we have connected to delete.php. So this is the delete.php. Same as before, we include the collection.php. So here where it checks the data, in which select from customer where customer equals customer ID. If it's work, and it will echo that your account has been deleted. If not, then it will if the data is not there, it will echo deleting account failed.
Hi, my name is Ahmad bin Azmi, and today I will explain about our mobile application. So when the user open up the app, they will be brought to the login page. So this is when the user try to log in their name and password. If the user try enter the wrong password or username, it will tell the user that it is incorrect. For in my case, I did not register yet. As for the new user, they will click the register button, and it will bring them to the register page. At here, they will enter their personal information. So once the user have give the personal information, they will click the register button, and they will be redirected to the login page. As for the data that have been submitted, it will go straight into the database. So when I click refresh in the database, it will show a new information has been input to the database. So back to our mobile application. So after I have registered, I can log in into the system. After I manage to successfully log in into the system, the user can know about our product. If the user want to know about our services, they just need to select to the left and click on the services. At here, at this screen, it will list all down of our services: soft tissue, pet consultation, pet grooming, pet treatment, pet dentistry, and pet surgery. So if the user have decided which services they want to use, they will just simply click the book now button. It will direct the user to the next to the booking page. to the booking screen. So the user just need to enter their customer ID and choose their service. After the user have done the booking, they will be redirected to the read screen, and at here it will display all of my booking detail. If the user decided to update or delete account, they will just simply need to go to the account button. For example, if I want to update my number phone, I just need to click the update account and input my new information. After I click the data, then my data in the database will be updated. If you see to our my database, you can see that my data has been updated. So back to the home screen. So after user have decided to, if the user decided to delete an account, they will just simply click the delete account button and just enter my customer ID. This means after the pop-up have out, this will show that my data has been deleted. If you see in my database, my data will be deleted. After that, the user just need to click the logout button and they will be redirected to the login page. That's all from me. Thank you.